Have you ever looked at your bank account and thought, wait, I know I got paid, where did it all go? Like, you didn't buy anything crazy. No Rolex, no Lamborghini, just rent, groceries, gas, maybe one DoorDash you slightly regret. And yet, somehow, your money just disappeared. Now here's the unsettling part. That exact feeling, that confusion, that slow, quiet erosion, that's literally what's happening to $38 trillion in US debt right now. And most people don't even realize it's happening. Not because the government paid it back, not because taxes magically covered it, but because it's being made to vanish right in front of you. And once you see how this works, you'll never look at money, savings, or national debt the same way again. My name is Rain, and I spend way too much time thinking about debt, inflation, and how money quietly screws people who play by the rules. If you're someone who works hard, saves money, and still feels like you're falling behind, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're breaking down how the US is effectively erasing $38 trillion in debt without ever paying it back, and why it's happening at your expense. Asterisk, asterisk, and look, this isn't a conspiracy. This isn't political. This is just math. Uncomfortable math. Most people think government debt works like personal debt. You borrow money. You pay it back. End of story. And that feels logical, but it's completely wrong. Because if the US government actually tried to pay back $38 trillion the normal way, taxes would have to double overnight. Social programs would get wiped out. The economy would crater. So instead, something else happens. Here's what most people don't realize. The US doesn't plan to pay back its debt. It plans to outgrow it by destroying the value of the dollar. Asterisk, asterisk, and yes, that sounds dramatic. But stay with me. Let's ground this in reality for a second. As of recently, US national debt is around $38 trillion, according to the US Treasury. That's not a typo. $38 trillion. To put that in perspective, asterisk, that's over $110,000 per American asterisk, more than entire US GDP asterisk, and growing by over $1 trillion every 100 days now. You might be thinking, okay, Rain, but the US has always had debt. What's different now? Great question. What's different is interest. For years, the US got away with cheap debt. Interest rates near zero. Free money era. No consequences, at least on the surface. But now, interest on the debt alone costs over $1 trillion per year. Let me say that again. $1 trillion every year just to service interest. That's more than the defense budget, more than Medicare, more than education. And that number keeps rising as old debt rolls over into higher rates. So the government is trapped. Raise taxes, political suicide, cut spending, economic chaos, default, global meltdown. So instead, they choose option 4. Here's what most people don't realize. Inflation is a feature, not a bug, of the system. When inflation rises, the real value of debt falls. Let me show you with stupidly simple math. Hashtag simple math example. Imagine you borrowed $100,000 30 years ago. Back then, asterisk $100,000 bought a house, asterisk a gallon of gas was under $1, asterisk median income was around $30,000 now. That same $100,000 doesn't buy much of anything. But your debt still says $100,000. The number didn't change, but the purchasing power collapsed. That's exactly what's happening at the national level. The US borrows in dollars. It prints dollars. And inflation quietly shrinks the real burden of that debt. They don't pay it back with value. They pay it back with cheaper dollars. Look, this system isn't fair, but ignoring it doesn't protect you. Understanding it does. If this video helped you see money differently, even a little, hit that thumbs up. It tells the algorithm this is worth spreading. And if you want more breakdowns that actually explain why money feels broken and what to do about it, subscribe. Because once you see how the game works, you stop being confused and you start being intentional. I'll see you in the next one.